He thought he won. He thought the knife would vanish if he smiled while twisting it. He thought blood would dry if he called it rain. He thought a brother could be buried under a joke, under a toast, under a room full of clapping mouths. He thought he won. I remember the moment the laughter landed like gravel in my lungs. I remember the grin that never reached your eyes. The small betrayals that pretended to be accidents. The paperwork signed in shadows. The promises folded into pockets and sold by morning. Family, you called it. But I tasted iron. I tasted poison moving through the veins of our name. You drew maps to rooms I was never meant to enter. You locked doors and called it love. You raised a glass over my head and told them I was fragile, then dropped it just to prove you right. You passed the knife like a gift, wrapped in praise, bright as a blessing. I unwrapped it. I bled. You applauded. He thought he won. I learned the language of silence, the way a drowning man learns the weight of water. Every smile became a mask. Every hug, a border. Every memory, a hallway where the lights cut out just before the exit. You taught me to listen for footsteps that never arrive. You taught me to measure trust, like a doctor measures breath. Slow, thin, almost nothing. You wanted my doubt to do your work. You wanted me small. You wanted me to believe that love is a leash, and I should be grateful to wear it. How the room softened around your voice, like it was a fire they needed. Heads, I disappear. Either way, you laugh. He thought he won, but I kept the receipts the way the moon keeps secrets. Quiet, this cold, patient. I filed each slight, beside the last, a neat cathedral of proof. I pressed my ear to the ribs of the past, and heard the truth beating. Not dead, not done, just waiting. You dressed your betrayal in family colors. You stitched our crest onto your shadow, and told people it was a halo. But I know shadows. I know their appetite. I know how they lengthen when a man stands on the wrong light. You loved the mirror more than blood. You loved the stage more than home. You loved the sound of your own mercy. You loved the roar that comes when you push someone off a cliff and call it a lesson. He thought he won. Listen, this is memory, not mercy. This is the inventory of a wound that refused to close. This is the roll call of nights when I swallowed thunder and learned to speak in storms. This is the ledger of a name written in my own hand, because yours shook too much when it held the truth. You taught me the price of trust. You taught me that family can be a cage with velvet bars. You taught me that loyalty is a language thieves speak fluently when the lights are on. And I learned. I learned how to breathe through a blade. I learned how to stand still while the floor moves. I learned how to take your laughter and forge it into armor that fits my scars like scripture. He thought he won. Remember this line. It is carved. It is final. It is the pulse that will not quiet when the room demands silence. He thought he won. But the night you buried me, I met the ground like a secret door, and beneath your victory, I found the stairs. And down those stairs I found the fire. And in that fire, I found myself, not broken, not begging, becoming. He thought he won. They forgot me. They buried me. They thought I was gone. Exile is not distance. It is not miles of road or oceans of water. Exile is silence. It is sitting in a room where the walls hum with voices you will never hear again. It is being erased while your heart still beats. It is being treated like a ghost before death has even touched your name. They called me brother when the crowd was watching, but in the dark they called me nothing. They smiled for the world and sharpened their knives behind the curtain. They forgot me. They buried me. They thought I was gone. The nights were endless. Do you know the taste of loneliness? It burns like rust on your tongue, dry and bitter. It is the sound of your own breath echoing back, mocking you. It is the weight of doubt pressing into your chest until even your heartbeat feels like betrayal. I spoke to walls. I spoke to shadows. And the shadows whispered back, "You are nothing. You are finished. You are gone." But I listened closer. And beneath the lie, I heard truth. I was not gone. I was not finished. I was waiting. Silence became my tomb. Yes. But a tomb can be more than death. A tomb can be a womb, a place where the dead are buried, but also where the living transform. They thought they buried me, but all they did was plant me. And in the soil of their rejection, I grew roots sharper than steel. They forgot me. They buried me. They thought I was gone. Every night was a test. Every empty morning was a blade across my spirit. Every absence was a teacher. I learned how to carry hunger like armor. I learned how to walk with no one beside me. I learned how to fight wars in silence, how to bleed without sound, how to scream without moving my lips. And you, yes, you listening, don't you know that feeling? The feeling of being ignored until you almost believed you were invisible. The feeling of being dismissed, mocked, underestimated until even your reflection seems smaller in the glass. That is the crucible. That is where we are forged. Not in comfort, not in praise, but in silence, in abandonment, in exile. They thought silence would kill me, but silence became my mentor. It stripped away every illusion, every lie, every false bond. It showed me what I truly was when everything else was taken. It showed me the monster they made, the warrior they unleashed, the storm they feared, but could no longer contain. They forgot me. They buried me. They thought I was gone. But I was not gone. I was sharpening. I was hardening. I was preparing. While they slept, I was awake. While they feasted, I starved and turned hunger into strength. While they mocked, I memorized every word and turned it into a weapon. Exile did not break me. It burned me into steel. It carved me into something unrecognizable, something untouchable. I am the silence they created, but silence has teeth, and silence does not forget. They forgot me. They buried me. They thought I was gone. But I remained. I endured. And I rise. Pain built me. Rage fed me. Silence crowned me. The ashes they left me in were supposed to smother me. They thought the fire was gone. They thought the embers were cold. But they never understood. Ashes are not the end. Ashes are beginnings. Ashes remember flame. Ashes hunger to burn again. I rose from them, coughing smoke, bleeding heat. Every scar, a spark. Every tear, a drop of fuel. Every betrayal, a match struck across my bones. And from that ruin, I became the fire. Pain built me. It broke me open, reshaped me, hammered me on an anvil of cruelty. Every wound they left was not a weakness, but a weld. Every fracture in my bones became iron seams. Every scar hardened into armor, not decoration, but declaration. I am not marked by pain. I am armored in it. Rage fed me. I drank it like water when the well of hope ran dry. I ate it like bread when the table was stripped bare. It burned in my chest where love once lived. It carried me through nights when silence screamed loud enough to kill. It taught me that fury can be a weapon, sharper than any blade forged by men. Silence crowned me, the same silence that was my tomb, my exile, my punishment. It became the throne I built within. It became the crown pressed onto my head, heavy but rightful. It made me king of my own ruin, emperor of my own pain, ruler of the darkness. They tried to drown me in. Pain built me. Rage fed me. Silence crowned me. There was no savior. No hand reached down. No voice called me back. Do not mistake my rise for a rescue. Do not mistake my survival for mercy. No God lifted me. No brother saved me. No family fought for me. I was alone. And alone, I chose fire. I clawed out of the pit they dug. I stitched my wounds with defiance. I set my broken bones in the fire of my own fury. I did not wait for hope. I did not beg for rescue. I became what they feared most, self-forged. Understand, this despair is a forge. Weakness is not an ending. It is molten metal waiting to be shaped. If you let it, pain will remake you. If you endure it, rage will sustain you. If you embrace it, silence will crown you. And so I stand, not in spite of the suffering, but because of it. Every insult became steel. Every betrayal became flame. Every exile became an empire in waiting. I do not curse the pain. I bow to it. I honor it. Because without it, there is no me. Pain built me. Rage fed me. Silence crowned me. Let them see now what they created. Let them look into the fire and realize they threw wood onto it, not water. Let them choke on the smoke of my rising. Let them watch as the ashes they left me ignite into a blaze they cannot control, cannot smother, cannot survive. I am not the broken one. I am not the forgotten one. I am the flame reborn, the fire unchained, the inferno they birthed when they tried to bury me. Pain built me. Rage fed me. Silence crowned me. And now I burn. Each step forward was his defeat. Each breath I took was his reminder. They never saw it coming. They thought the silence had swallowed me whole. They thought the pit had claimed me forever. But I climbed, step by step, wound by wound, breath by breath. At first, the doors were locked. I knocked. No one answered. I begged. No one listened. So I stopped knocking. I stopped begging. And I built my own doors. I carved them out of stone with bleeding hands. I broke their hinges with bones they swore would never heal. And when I stepped through, the world shifted. They never imagined I would rise. Because their victory was so sweet, so immediate, so loud. They thought the applause that crowned him would echo forever. But applause fades. Crowds disperse. Triumph rots when it has no roots. And his crown, oh, his crown was paper. It burned at the first touch of fire. Each step forward was his defeat. Each breath I took was his reminder. My victories came quiet at first, a whisper in the dark. A single coin earned, a single wall climbed, a single name spoken in rooms where mine had been erased. But whispers multiply. Coins become gold. Walls become kingdoms. Names become empires. And I rose. Do you feel it? That slow, relentless climb. The kind that never stops, never pauses, never looks back. That is the rise they never saw. Because they weren't sit watching. They were too busy celebrating his false triumph. Too busy drinking to their own lies. While they laughed, I labored. While they slept, I built. While they believed they had buried me, I was planting seeds in the soil of their betrayal. And now those seeds have grown, roots thick as chains, branches tall enough to tear open the sky. An empire, living, breathing, unshakable. An empire built not on mercy, but on scars. Not on love, but on defiance. Not on trust, but on betrayal. Each step forward was his defeat. Each breath I took was his reminder. Because every headline with my name was a nail in his coffin of envy. Every door that opened for me was another door that slammed in his face. Every triumph that lifted me was another weight pressing him deeper into the ground. I did not need to strike him. I did not need to touch him. My existence was the wound. My success was the punishment. Do you see it now? The beauty of silence turned into thunder. The poetry of exile turned into empire. They thought they wrote the final chapter of my story, but I stole the pen, and every page I wrote after became a blade pressed to his pride, a blade he feels every time my name is spoken louder than his. He thought he won, but victories built on betrayal are castles built on sand. The tide always comes, and when it came, it washed away his crown, his applause, his stage. But me, I did not need the crowd. I did not need their cheers. I carried my stage in my scars. I wore my crown in silence. I built my throne from the very stones they threw at me. Each step forward was his defeat. Each breath I took was his reminder. And now I rise, higher than he ever dreamed, higher than he ever dared, higher than he ever dared, higher than he ever dared. I rise not for him, not for them, not for vengeance alone. I rise because I was meant to, because I was born in the fire they feared, because I am the storm they unleashed. Every victory is not just mine. It is justice. It is retribution. It is the proof that betrayal cannot kill destiny. It can only sharpen it. It can only strengthen it. It can only set it aflame. Each step forward was his defeat. Each breath I took was his reminder. And with every rise, his fall began. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. Do you know what true punishment is? It is not death. It is not blood spilled on the ground, not bones broken, not the silence of the grave. No, death is mercy. Death is release. The true punishment is life, and that is what I gave him. Not an ending, but a forever. Not silence, but echoes. Not closure, but chains that rattle louder with every sunrise. He wakes each morning to a world carved with my name. He cannot step outside without seeing my shadow stretch further than his reach. He cannot turn his head without hearing my voice, whispered in rooms he no longer enters. He cannot close his eyes without seeing me seated on the throne he once believed was his. Every dawn is a blade. Every hour, another cut. Every night, another reminder that I am still here. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. I see his eyes sometimes, trembling, hollow, haunted. Eyes that once looked down on me now look up, searching for a place to hide. But there is nowhere left. My victories are everywhere. They drip from the walls he built. They echo through the halls he once claimed. They rise in the voices of those who now chant my name, not his. And what does he have? Regret, a banquet of ashes, a crown of rust, a legacy of betrayal, rotting in his hands. He holds the memory of that fleeting triumph, the night he thought he had buried me. And every time he remembers it, the memory turns to venom, because he knows what followed. He knows that moment was the last time he stood above me. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. I never raised a blade against him. I never touched him with violence. I did not need to. Why strike, when every breath I take cuts deeper than steel? Why kill, when living is a sharper punishment than death? I let him live. I let him breathe. I let him watch. And watching is torment. To see me rise. To see me thrive. To see me hold everything he reached for but could never keep. To see the empire he dreamed of. Mine. To see the power he coveted. Mine. To see the respect, the fear, the loyalty. All his hunger, all his schemes, all his betrayal, wasted. All of it shattered, replaced by the image of me, standing tall where he swore I'd never stand. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. You see, there is a special kind of hell reserved for traitors, not the hell of fire, not the hell of chains, but the hell of envy. The hell of waking each day with nothing but the taste of regret on your tongue. The hell of watching greatness from the outside, knowing you could have shared it, knowing you could have stood beside it, knowing you threw it all away. And worse, knowing that greatness belongs to the one you betrayed. That is his prison. That is his cage. Not bars of iron, but bars of memory. Not guards with whips, but shadows that whisper my name. Not locks of steel, but the sound of my victories echoing in his ears. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. Imagine it. Every time he looks at me, he sees his failure. Every time the world bows, he feels the weight of his own downfall. Every time I breathe, it reminds him that he could not kill me, could not bury me. I am not his brother anymore. I am his punishment. I am his nightmare in daylight. I am the ghost of the empire he never built, the shadow of the man he could never become, the eternal reminder of what betrayal costs. And here is the truth. I did not just rise. I made my rise his ruin. I turned my success into his chain, my triumph into his torment, my empire into his execution. Not swift, not merciful, but daily, endless, forever. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. And when he dies, when the earth finally takes him, even then he will not escape me. Because the world will not speak his name, they will only speak mine. They will remember the brother who betrayed, but they will worship the brother who rose. His legacy is my shadow. His name is my weapon. His punishment is eternal. He thought he won, but every dawn proves him wrong. Let him beg. Let him crawl. Let him choke on regret. This is the throne they swore I would never touch. The seat carved from the very scars they gave me. Every cut, every wound, every betrayal, stacked, pressed, shaped into iron and stone, until it became a monument. My throne is not polished gold. It is not velvet cushions or jeweled crowns. It is bone. It is blood. It is the echo of nights where silence was my only companion. And still, I sit upon it. I wear the crown they forged for me with their betrayal. A crown heavier than diamonds, sharper than thorns. Every lie they whispered, every dagger they drove, every laugh they spat behind my back, it is all melted down into metal that rests on my head. It cuts my skin. It bleeds into my hair. But it shines brighter than anything they ever owned. Let him beg. Let him crawl. Let him choke on regret. This empire was not built on kindness. It was not born of mercy. It was born in darkness. It was raised in silence. It was fed by rage. It grew out of betrayal. And that is why it will never fall. Because it was not crafted in illusions. It was not held up by empty cheers. It was not sustained by fragile applause. It was built on the unbreakable, on scars that do not fade, on pain that does not die, on fury that does not weaken. Do you understand? Strength is not sunlight. Strength is not smiles. Strength is not handed down in gentle words. Strength is born in shadow. Strength is born when you are stripped of everything and left to rot. Strength is born when you have nothing but the fire in your chest and the silence in your ears. That is the truth they never wanted you to see. That is the truth I was forced to learn. And now I am the living proof of it. Let him beg. Let him crawl. Let him choke on regret. He kneels now, though he will never admit it. Not before me. Not before the world. But in the hollow of his heart, he kneels every day. Because every shadow bends toward me. Every voice lowers when I enter. Every door opens at the sound of my name. I am not the forgotten one. I am not the weak one. I am the empire they cannot escape. And you, yes, you who were betrayed, abandoned, cast aside, do you hear me? Do you feel it in your bones? That hunger, that rage, that silence pressing against your skull, like a crown you never asked for. Wear it. Do not run from it. Do not beg for light. Do not seek mercy. Take the darkness. Take the betrayal. Take the scars. Forge them into your throne. Forge them into your crown. Forge them into your empire. They will call you villain. They will call you ruthless. They will call you merciless. And maybe they are right. But remember, heroes are born in comfort. Villains are born in fire. And fire does not need approval. Fire only needs fuel. Let him beg. Let him crawl. Let him choke on regret. Because this throne is mine. This crown is mine. This empire, lit not by sunlight but by shadows, is mine. And in these shadows, I am unstoppable. In these shadows, I am eternal. In these shadows, I am everything they swore I could never be. I was silence. I was exile. I was forgotten. Now I am throne. I am crown. I am empire. Let him beg. Let him crawl. Let him choke on regret. And let the world bow, for I will never fall. I was the ghost he buried. Now I am the empire he bows to. Revenge was never the destination. It was only the road. It was the fire that carried me through the dark. But fire does not burn forever. It transforms. It forges. It shapes. It leaves behind something greater than flame. And so what began as vengeance has become legacy. Not his legacy. Mine. Because his name is a whisper, a caution, a warning carved in the dark. But my name is carved into stone, into blood, into time itself. He thought betrayal would define me. Instead, it defined him. He is the traitor. I am the empire. Every dawn, he wakes to the same truth. I did not just survive. I did not just rise. I became eternal. My triumphs are not moments. They are monuments. My victories are not temporary. They are carved into the marrow of history. And long after his body breaks, long after his voice fades, long after his shadow is swallowed by the grave, my name will remain. Spoken, feared, worshipped. I was the ghost he buried. Now I am the empire he bows to. And to those who have been cast aside, those who have been mocked, those who have been silenced, listen well. Your pain is not an ending. Your exile is not your death. It is your beginning. It is your fire. It is the soil where you will plant your empire. They may forget you. They may bury you. They may think you are gone. But remember, seeds grow best in the dark. So rise. Rise from your ashes. Rise from your silence. Rise from the betrayal that was meant to kill you. Do not forgive. Do not forget. Do not bend. Turn your scars into thrones. Turn your rage into crowns. Turn your silence into a legacy that will outlive their laughter, outlast their lies, outshine their shallow victories. Because this is not just about him. This is not just about me. This is about all of us who were left behind. All of us who were told we were nothing. All of us who were buried alive. We are the ghosts they tried to silence. We are the flames they tried to smother. We are the empire they will one day bow to. From nothing to everything. From silence to thunder. From forgotten to eternal. I was the ghost he buried. Now I am the empire he bows to. From nothing to everything.